Hey, well, good morning, y'all. Welcome to Freedom Kids. I'm so excited each one of you have joined us today here to learn about a fruit of the Spirit. And that fruit of the Spirit's called self-control. Say this with me. Self-control. That's correct. Think before you act. Yeah. Think before you act. Yeah. That's self-control. That's self-control. And think before you act. Yeah. Think before you act. That's great. And before we get into the rest of the fruits of the Spirit, before we get into this fruit of the Spirit, self-control, let's talk about the rest of the fruits of the Spirit. I got all tongue-tied there. It's okay, whatever. But here, let's talk about them. Ready? Let's say them with me. Say them with me. Ready? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and what's this one? Self-control. That's right, self-control. You know, self-control is so important, and it really means thinking before you act. And don't you have a hard time with that sometimes? I know I do out here on the farm. For example, let me show you a few examples of how I have a hard time thinking sometimes before I act. So sometimes I got to work on my tires here on my tractor. My Kubota diesel 4x4. Sometimes I got to work on it, and I take this tool and I work on it. But daggone it! Sometimes I can't get them off. And man, I can throw this thing around sometimes and get so fired up. Whew. But that's not practicing self-control, because beating this thing off the tire and kicking this other Kubota, that ain't self-control, and that ain't gonna fix a tire. So we gotta think before we act, because if I would just think a little bit of how to better use this tool, I could fix this tire. But kicking it and screaming, that ain't gonna fix this tire. So that's not self-control. Have you ever had something to drink and it ended up not being what you thought it was gonna be? For example, this here, I love sweet tea, and I'm gonna drink me some sweet tea right now, and I just love it. So let me take a drink of sweet tea. My goodness, this ain't the right sweet tea. Daggone this! Well, I'm so mad. That's the wrong. That ain't sweet tea. That was apple cider. Oh, whew, man. Now that wasn't self-control, was it? Even though it wasn't what I was expecting to drink, throwing it around and screaming ain't going to change it from apple cider to sweet tea. What I did was I picked up the wrong canister. This here's the sweet tea. It was my fault. And if I would have think before I acted and went crazy like that, I'd have realized, Jason, hey Jason, Pastor Jason, it's your own fault. You didn't pick up the right canister. So instead of going crazy when you get the wrong food or get your wrong drink, we just got to practice self-control. Out here on the farm, we got to use these here rakes. And sometimes, I don't know if you can see it, but we got to shovel horse poop. Yeah, we do. We got to shovel horse poop. And so there was one time I was out here on the farm, and I was shoveling horse poop, and I was throwing it out, and then all of a sudden, I threw horse poop, and it got right on my face, and I got so mad, I took this rake, and I slammed it on the ground, and I went crazy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I got horse poop on my face. Whew. And I'd wasted so much energy getting upset that I got the horse poopy on my face. And you know, here's the thing. If I'd have just been more careful, and if I'd have think before I acted, that's what I needed to do. I just needed to do a little thinking and realize that I wasn't shoveling it the right way anyway. And by throwing my thing there down, by throwing my rake there on the floor, that wasn't going to change the fact that there was horse poopy on my face. And so, if I could practice self-control a little bit better out here on the farm, I'd save some energy, and life would be a whole lot easier. So, you know, we just got to practice self-control when we're out here and we're in school, when we're at home, everywhere we go, we just got to learn to practice self-control. And today, that's what Pastor Jason's going to teach y'all about. That fruit of the Spirit, self-control. Now, what I want you to do right this second is stand on up to your feet and get ready to learn about self-control. And while we're worshiping God right now, let's practice self-control. Don't go crazy, but have fun worshiping our Lord Jesus Christ. In your name, I pray. Let's all say together, Amen. Yeehaw! Yeah! Have fun worshiping today. Woo! Yep. Yoo-hoo. Here we go. Self-control. Self-control. Self-control.